Oh, motherfucker, you can't have my cornbread. That's for damn sure. Because if you try to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree gonna begin up in here on your ass right now. If you think about my cornbread, get the taste out your mouth. That's for damn sure. Now, fuck him. Fuck that. Because I'm from New York City, goddammit. Nobody take no cornbread from me. That goes for you and any other you motherfucking farmers wanna try some shit. You fuck around with me, it's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
Haters gonna hate, and ain'ters gonna ain't.
That is not an actual thing.
What up? Good, everybody. It's Maestro Styles and Trey Frazier here with y'all.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. You're live on the website, barbershopsportstalkpodcast.com. Make sure you guys follow us on social media at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast on Instagram, at Barbershop SPOR2 on Twitter. We got the Facebook page, and also you can find us on YouTube as well. Trey Frazier, Maestro Styles here in the building.
Yeah, man.
We got a guest in the building. We got the homie Jordan Rosario, a.k.a. DJ Storytime. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
What is going on, fellas?
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
We just returning a favor here, and again, we appreciate you having us on your podcast, which is called Keeping It 100. You guys can find that on Spotify and all the podcast platforms out there. Me and Maestro did his show on Saturday, so it's only right to return the favor here. So Jordan, again, man, we appreciate you hopping on here, for the ride, and it's only right, man. I mean, we previewed these games. So it's only right that we recap these games together, man.
Well, hey, I definitely appreciate y'all coming onto my set on a Saturday. It was definitely a lot of fun being able to preview these NFL games, and I'm also thankful to be on your show today. And, we're going to have to go over some of these NFL games, and I know I've been wrong on a few particular games that we need to get into.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, there's really just 5 games. And, and me and Maestro, we kind of talked about this a day or two ago. There's really not a lot to talk about here. But in my view, there's like 5 games. And Maestro, I don't know if you feel the same way.
Okay. Well, I'll see what 5 you go through. And if I need to say something, then, about a specific game, I will say such about a specific game.
Yeah, I think this is the one that we just can't go without starting. And
okay, well, before you get into that,
yep.
I just want to say rest in peace to Alex Trebek from
yes,
Jeopardy,
no doubt.
80 years old, the legend. Man. I ain't have cable a lot growing up as a kid, so a lot of my days was watching Simpsons, Wheel of Fortune, and Jeopardy. What I'm saying, switching back from Fox to ABC, in the DMV area, man. So, he is definitely a staple of my childhood. So, rest in peace to the legend, Alex Trebek.
Yeah, a national treasure, for certain, for so many years, so many decades, to host this show. And I mean, he did a lot. I mean, it wasn't just Jeopardy. I mean, he's well known for that, but he's hosted other game shows. He's done a lot of other things, and that kind of took me by surprise a little bit. I know he announced.
I was getting ready to say
it took me by the surprise because I'm getting ready to watch.
Him doing it. I'm sorry, him passing or him doing other shows? Because I didn't even know he did another show.
No, with him passing, I was surprised.
Oh, okay.
It caught me by surprise because
right.
I was to watch the games on Sunday. And right after the 1 o'clock games kicked off was when I started seeing tweets about Alex Trebek, and they saying he, passed away that morning. And, everybody's talking about who's gonna host Jeopardy now, and is this the end, and da da da. So yeah, man. He did host. By the way, Maestro, he did host some other game shows from like the mid '80s and early.
I just wondered what I just didn't know. I know him from Jeopardy. That's with respect, obviously. I know him from Jeopardy.
Of course, and everybody should know him from Jeopardy alone. But I do recall, growing up, did a couple other, game shows. One I forget used to come on in the mornings for about a few years on NBC. But yeah, he did a lot of other things, and I don't think it's gonna be hard to find a replacement for this game show. This game show itself is a national treasure. So
yeah,
if Bob Barker can walk away and Drew Carey can step in, and he's been doing it a little over 10 years now, then I think they could do the same thing with Jeopardy.
He has hosted a number of other game shows, including Wizard of Odds, Double Dare, High Rollers, Battle Stars, Classic Concentration, and To Tell the Truth. Classic
Concentration, that's the one.
Oh yeah, I never heard of any of these shows.
That's the one that I remember him hosting.
So, I'm scrolling through Twitter and I saw an interesting replacement suggestion. LeVar Burton. From Allstate.
Oh, are you talking
Didn't he do Reading Rainbow too?
Yeah.
Okay.
The guy from I don't think. Let me find out the Allstate guy's name because I feel like I'm saying LeVar Burton and now I don't feel like that's his name. Allstate guy.
Dennis Haysbert.
There we go. The dude from Waiting to Exhale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the Allstate commercial.
Dennis Haysbert. Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say it felt funny, and I feel like LeVar Burton is dead now that I'm saying it in my mind.
No, LeVar Burton's still alive. He's
still
just
alive?
old. He's just older, but yeah, he's still alive. He's still around.
Yeah, the Allstate dude. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, Dennis Haysbert. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a very interesting choice, for certain. You mean to get a black man to host a game show, and we already seen Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer do the same. So I would love to see that.
Not for nothing. Not to cut you off. Not for nothing. I typed in LeVar Burton to get to see his face, and immediately when I was typing his name, Jeopardy came up. So I don't know.
Okay. So is somebody suggesting him too?
Yeah, apparently somebody suggested him. But my thoughts was the one I saw was the guy from Waiting to Exhale. That's what the Allstate guy.
Yep. Okay.
But there you go. LeVar Burton was also a suggestion somewhere because Jeopardy popped right up immediately when I typed his name.
Yeah, LeVar Burton's got to be 60-something. I don't know his
63.
age.
63.
63? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's not that much older than Dennis Haysbert.
Yeah. Yeah, but we need that bravado. We need that voice. We need that voice on Jeopardy, man. That's going to change it up. We need that voice.
Hey, and if you're talking about a voice, then Dennis Haybert's the one. But I just wanted to quickly touch up on my memories of Alex Trebek, and then I'll let you guys take over. Growing up, kind of the same thing. Like not a whole lot to watch in terms of TV, and I remember. During my early childhood years that I'd be watching Jeopardy alongside my grandmother, alongside my grandfather. And, those are memories that I hold really dear to me. And, to know that Alex Trebek is gone, having done the show for God knows how long, at least since the 80s. I mean, you talk about a national treasure and, whoever comes in to replace him, whether it be Dennis Haysbert, whether it be LeVar Burton, whether it be any other particular host, they're going to have some real tremendous shoes to fill when they step in for Alex Trebek.
That's a fact.
Yeah, no question about that.
36 years of Jeopardy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's big. That's certainly big. I know the popular choice out there for replacement is that contestant Ken Jennings, the one I think he's like the highest earned winner in the history of the show.
Yeah, I haven't seen that suggestion.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the more Ken Jennings. Yeah, he's like the more popular pick for, host replacement. But I love the Dennis Haybert suggestion as well. We need to try to petition that, hashtag that or something.
For who?
Dennis Haysbert, the Allstate guy. I know you know him as just the Allstate guy.
I'm riding for the Allstate guy, bro.
Hashtag Allstate guy.
yeah, but definitely rest in peace, extra back.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, let me just say what's up to a couple people in the chat room here. We got Kesey, a.k.a. Professor X.
What's happening?
What's going on, Professor X?
And we got Big Kev 303 out in
A1,
Denver. In your neck of the woods, Jordan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Big Kev from Denver, yeah.
What part of Big Kev, what part of Denver are you from?
Yeah, for certain.
He's one
of our A1 day ones, so.
Yeah.
So
shout
out to everybody in the chat here. But Maestro, you got anything before we?
No, let's talk. Let's recap some football, man. I won't hold it up too long. Like I said, I got a long night ahead of me, and I ain't had dinner.
Right.
Got some ribs thawing out right now.
Man, you making me hungry now. But,
I know, right?
Yeah, for real. But man, I can't go this podcast without starting off with the beatdown Sunday night that Brady and the Bucs took. And
that's an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, and I saw you tweet out, Maestro, that you had the Saints kind of effed up there.
Yeah, I definitely had the Saints fucked up, man, because I didn't look. I acknowledge that the Saints are. Obviously, they were capable of winning the game, but I picked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I thought it would be decisive, and that was not the case.
It
clearly
was decisive the other way, for sure.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. I guess for me, and you weren't the only one that picked the Bucs. I think, Jordan, you picked the Bucs as well.
Yeah, I picked the Bucs too, and so I understand exactly how you feel, Maestro.
Yeah, everybody picked the Bucs. Like, if you talk to pundits and you read CBSSports.com and Yahoo and, these other, sports websites, everybody had Tampa Bay across the board. And, I picked the Saints, but I'm not going to take credit for it because my analysis was that I don't like Tom Brady. So
right.
it's not like I... broke this game down to
damn. You got the
Saints.
You got the Saints on record that you picked them.
Check Jordan Rosario's podcast.
No, I mean where it matter at on offline.
IG Live, man.
Shit.
IG Live, bro. It's on our page at Barbershop Sports Podcast. By the way, make sure y'all check out the IG.
Damn
Live
it.
There. But I'm not gonna
Jordan.
pretend.
Just so I don't leave Jordan outside of an inside joke. We got a little pool amongst our family members that basically we pick games every week, and whoever got the best record win the pool, the pool of money or whatever. So just to gloat, I am in the lead right now, but it's a small lead, like a 3-game lead. So I picked Tampa, and he picked New Orleans. That may bring him a little closer. So it's that's why I wanted to show it was on record.
Yeah,
I feel like 99% of your family would have picked the Buccaneers the way that this game was supposed to go. But, man, I'm just so surprised in how Tom Brady and that Tampa Bay offense just look so small compared to how Drew Brees was handling business there.
Yeah, I think it was so, I ain't going to lie to y'all. Because, Monday morning you hear everybody talking about, I even saw Trey subtweeting talking about y'all crown, or maybe that's the title. I'm sorry, that was the title. We crowning people too early. Yeah, but I say we crowning people too early. This was such a blowout. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is an anomaly to me. That's how bad the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got blown out. I still got Tampa Bay going to the Super Bowl. I think New Orleans woke up this game and Tampa Bay didn't. And I don't know why they didn't, because that's a stupid thing to say in a division game against, the Saints of all people. But that was such an ass whooping. It's that I'm going to believe. I don't believe the Saints are that much better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't believe it. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I would agree. I think one of the things that I forgot going into the game was that Michael Thomas was coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And not
and
that
Emmanuel Sanders.
And Emmanuel Sanders, right, because he was on the COVID list, I think.
Yeah.
So it's not like Michael Thomas really dominated this game. I mean, Drew Brees threw to it seemed like 12 or 13 different
He threw to damn
receivers.
near everybody that could catch a football. He threw to Sunday.
He might have been Sean Payton for all I know.
Yeah.
It was crazy the way he just spread the ball around. And I mean, I don't know. I guess for me, I think a lesson to, I guess, take here, and I'm talking to myself also, is that we forgot who the Saints are. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the Saints have a pedigree, and that's Sean Payton and Drew Brees. And this is the NFC South. This is not the AFC East, where you can just feast on the Jets, Dolphins, and Bills. This is definitely a wake call, Maestro and Jordan. I do agree that I still think Tampa Bay, when it's all said and done, will be the better team. I don't know if the records will reflect that. I mean, the Saints could still win the division, and Tampa will still have a better roster than them. And obviously, they would have
the tiebreaker.
Right, the Saints right now would have the tiebreaker. If obviously they got to keep winning, then they can't fall short.
I won't play it. I still have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah, and I can see that.
Let me be on my stance. I don't know about seeding. I don't even really care about seedings. I mean, I guess it would matter, but at the end of the day, you could write it down. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as of what's this, week 9? We can already go into that we just passed. This is week 9 that just passed.
Week 9,
Yep.
They are going to the Super Bowl. Amidst that,
even if they are 7 seeds.
Yeah, amidst this whooping they just got, they are going to the Super Bowl. Pending in some crazy injury.
Okay. Well, Tom Brady can't throw 3 interceptions in a game again if they want to get to the Super Bowl.
That's a fact.
But Tampa Bay, I wouldn't necessarily throw them out of the Super Bowl conversation, but I was never really that high on them anyway. I had them as like the top dog in the NFC, and I'm sure we'll get to this team later, but I still have Seattle as my Super Bowl.
Oh, we going right there.
We gotta go right there. Yeah, we definitely.
Because with the title, with the title speaking about early, if you asked me who I thought was going to the Super Bowl before games were played, I would have told you the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson is obviously an MVP candidate right now, but we'd be lying if we didn't say he took a step back. Maybe his first step back all year this past Sunday.
Yeah, man.
And let's be clear. This was don't let the score fool you. This was an ass whooping.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. What they scored? They scored 30 in this game, right?
It was like 44-34, yeah.
44-34. Okay, but yeah, that score doesn't reflect the ass whooping that they took.
Not at all.
It doesn't.
Not at all.
That. I'm gonna give the credit to the Buffalo Bills here, man. Josh Allen came back. And he played like the Josh Allen we saw like the first 3-4 weeks of the season. So I got to give credit on that side of the ball. Maestro, I feel like I feel the way about Seattle, you feel the way about Tampa. I did pick the Seahawks before games were played. And through 9 weeks, I'm still going to ride or die with the Seahawks to represent the NFC. Even though I know their defense is terrible.
And they have no run game. And they are depending. I mean, the very basis for Russell Wilson's MVP, being the MVP, the top MVP candidate, is that they are consistently saying Russell Wilson win games for us, and we're not going to put anybody around you to help. Yeah. We're not going to help. We're not going to help you do it. We're just asking you every week to win games for us because their defense can't stop nobody. Nope. They have no running game to speak of. I get, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, obviously their receiving core is good. But that's it. That's really it. There's nothing to speak of that's quality on the Seattle Seahawks team but the quarterback and that receiving core. Everything else is trash. And I hate that Russell Wilson is a situation, but if you think about it, he kind of asked for this situation. And it stems back all the way back to that day where they should have handed the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, and they let Russell Wilson, try to win the game, and he didn't.
Yeah.
From that moment on, we knew that this was Russell Wilson's team, and they are saying, "All right, now go win it for us."
Yeah. Well, look, man, he's got a top 5 receiver in DK Metcalf right now.
Yep.
So it's not like the Seahawks fell off the face of the earth, after getting the contract. I mean, they're still competitive. They're going to be in the playoffs. It's just a question about can they get to the Super Bowl. But I give you a hot take right now. When you talked about MVP candidates, Russell Wilson right now is number 2 on my MVP list right now after that performance on Sunday.
Who beats him right now?
Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick.
Well,
Mahomes,
I get
man.
comeback victories 25-1, touchdown, interception. But I feel like I feel like you know what my argument is about to be. Yes, he's had the stats are there. Obviously, the stats are there. The record is there. The Chiefs are. We know that. Mm-hmm. But give me his highlight moments this year. What's his highlight moments this year?
Probably not many, but to kind of give you a devil's advocate to that. Has Patrick Mahomes looked terrible this year yet?
No. He's been good. He's been amazing.
Okay.
But I think when you compare stats, the stats are comparable. I mean, you would maybe. I mean, obviously touchdown to interception ratio, Patrick Mahomes is better right now at that. And you got to give him his respect as the Super Bowl MVP. I mean, at this point, the best player in the NFL.
And they're 8-1 right now.
Yeah, and you got to respect. You got to respect that, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But stats, obviously the Chiefs have a better team. While they depend on Patrick Mahomes, it's different in Seattle. They could sneak a game. Kansas City can sneak a game if Patrick Mahomes is injured. They might sneak a game against a bad team.
I would agree with that.
Russell Wilson goes out.
Mm-hmm.
They don't win a game. I don't care who they. I think was it Geno their backup? Who was it, Geno at this point?
Geno Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not winning you a football game. You might, with the talent around the Chiefs, you might have. I guess I don't know if it's still Chase Daniels backing up. It's
Mahomes,
Matt Moore
still.
Matt Moore. You can get Matt Moore to steal a game. Matt Moore can steal a game against a bad team.
Well, Matt Moore's done that last year.
Sure,
last year
with that roster around him, Russell was just too important to that team. And like I said, every single game that the Seahawks have won, it's been on the back of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I
agree.
I agree 100%.
It's no way, not for me. Pat Mahomes, not
So is Russell still number 1 for you right now?
Number
after week 9,
he's taking step at number 1, 100%.
And I will say this for a bit of a history lesson. We're depending on Russell Wilson in terms of your team being successful and your team at least getting to the Super Bowl. Well, the same could be said about, not to bring us some history, but 6-7 years ago, we basically got to the Super Bowl where we got blown out by Seattle on the back of Peyton Manning. So it's definitely possible that Russell Wilson could get you there, and I definitely believe in the guy.
Yeah.
Denver had a good defense, though.
Not in 2013.
Not that
year.
year.
2013.
Not that year.
Not that year?
No, we didn't even have. We had Von Miller, but he kind of he got suspended. For a part of the season. I can't list any other defenders off the top of my head, but we didn't have the greatest running game. I mean, we had no Sean Moreno, Monte Ball, who are like blips in Denver history. So. I mean, we basically rode that Super Bowl because of the fact that we had a Peyton Manning and a great wide receiver core. And Russell Wilson reminds me of that same situation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
I think the defense you're referring to is 2015.
The 2015, right.
Was
gotcha.
Where Peyton Manning.
When they beat Carolina.
Yes. Yeah, that was their best defense that year.
And Peyton Manning not great in that season whatsoever.
Yeah, right. They weren't on his back at all, right?
Nope, not at all. I think he threw like 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions that.
Was it that bad?
He
was that bad.
It was so bad. We had to get a guy named Brock Eisweiler to start some games for us.
Oh, yeah. You ain't lying. And they put him back in for the playoffs. You know?
Yep. And it's crazy because Brock did win some games for y'all when he was there. But then on that last week where struggling against the Chargers, they was like, all right, you got to get up out of here. You gonna cost us this number 1 seed. Peyton, get your ass in there. Let's get this number 1 seed. That's how they got to the Super Bowl.
And the team played so much better when Peyton was in that last game. And without that, we don't get the number 1 seed, don't get home field advantage. And I think his veteran leadership, while he wasn't that great in the playoffs, was still enough for our team to rally around and get us that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so to bring this to a current state of affairs, I do believe that Russell Wilson, his mentality, his leadership skills within the offense, the defense, the special teams, whatever, I believe it's enough for him to beat all these other NFC teams that we're talking about, the Saints, the Buccaneers. I believe Russell Wilson has the moxie to get it done. And let's not leave the Packers in there.
And what's interesting about the NFC right now is you might have a team that may have to go through 3 of those quarterbacks just to get Super Bowl. Let's say Tampa don't win the South, and they got to go on the road and face Drew Brees, and then the next they got to go to Seattle to face Russell, and then they got to go to Green Bay to face Aaron Rodgers. If any of that combination goes through 3 games through those quarterbacks to get to the Super Bowl, I got to get that man props, whoever that is, because that's gonna be like a daunting task. And you got Kyler Murray in there, even though we don't know how well Kyler Murray is gonna be, once the playoffs roll around. But you still got that.
I'm about to say I'll give them. I mean, I don't think they're not up there with the top 4, top 4 teams in the NFC. But I mean, I'll give you this. He's pretty accurate and he can run. So I give him a shot against anybody. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's true.
I give him a shot against anybody.
Yeah. So Maestro, what were your thoughts at halftime against the Cowboys and the Steelers
game? So let me in order for you to grasp where I was at with that game, I have to take you back to my Saturday night. So I had a little kickback at my house Saturday night. A little plush out thing. We drinking Hennessy, doing the things that we do, listening to R&B. I didn't get to bed till like 4 because I had some late night action. So I got to bed about 4. Woke up again about 7 in the morning because I'm an early bird, and went about my day. I realized that I was going to have an in the bed watching football day. So I'm watching y'all struggle with the Colts a little bit. I'm like, all right, interesting, cool. Game come on, and I'm so convinced that this is about to just be a snooze fest. It's going to be dominance. It's going to be all that. I'm in a bed chilling. I ain't, it's my tradition on my jersey. I ain't even throw my jersey on. I'm in the bed chilling, thinking like it's nothing.
Yep.
So I could tell you how I felt about, because let's be clear, their first drive on offense, from that point, it was like, yo, they are coming for our necks. They coming, and I'm like, all right, cool. They could do that. I'm not even tripping at that point. Like, all right, they should come for our necks. Like we in their building. They don't have nothing. They have absolutely nothing to play for. Absolutely nothing to play for.
Well, they do because
but they
the
don't.
NFC.
I get you.
It's the NFC East, man.
Sure. But they don't. Yeah, like they don't. They can lose.
Man.
It's funny because I heard people talking about, if they had won this game, they would be on the top of the NFC East. And that is true. But they lose, they still ain't out of it. Like it's
they're not out of it. Yeah.
The division is so bad. They got like 2 more games that they can definitively lose and still be in the race. So it's like, but they threw the kitchen sink at us. And I tweeted it by halftime. I said, man, Gilbert doing his thing. That number 96 on that defensive line that they finally start playing. Gallimore, I think his name is. Mm-hmm. That boy is a beast. I'm talking about that boy is a beast. Yeah. But all I know about halftime, I'm like, man, all right, it's cute. They doing their thing, but I hope they got more kitchen sinks to throw at us because at some point, Trey, I'm big on this. When you a winning team, regardless of whether you playing good or not, you know how to win. And when you're a losing team, at some point, you just going to go back to who you are and lose.
Yeah.
It's called pedigree.
Yep.
So with while we get ass whipped, I'm like, all right, but let me get interested. Let me get up. So I get up, throw my jersey on. I'm getting hype. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm getting in the mode I probably should have been in had I not been drinking Hennessy the night before. And they still fighting. So I'm like, they still fighting.
Yeah, two plays for me that turned this game. Number one was the block in the back on the return that should have been a touchdown, but homie blocked your man in the back there, and they had to bring that ball all the way back to the 30, I believe. And
what play is that you talking?
So y'all punted. I think it was y'all second position, and y'all punted, and it was the trick play. It was the guy caught it,
the punt return.
Right, okay. And then he threw across the field.
Yeah.
And then homie, was about to go score. And one of his mans blocked your boy.
Pushed him into the runner. He pushed him into the runner.
Yeah. And, that should have been a touchdown with that stupid, penalty. So, if you go up 17-0, now at that point, y'all scrapping the running game, and it's like, all right, we got to throw our way back into this football game. And
I'll say this: they did an amazing job against the running game. I've been hard on James Conner, and I'll be clairvoyant or transparent. I was like, we need to go find another option. James, I said it like week one, and I get that he had a decent week one if I remember right, but I was like, James Conner ain't it. He's slow. I'm like, I get the story. I'm happy for him, but he's not that. That's how I feel about James Conner. Yeah. So with him being shut down like that, I'm like whatever. We gonna have to. This is Baltimore again. We gonna have to do Baltimore again. Fine, I'm fine with that because we're not getting what we need. With that being said, in rebuttal to your the punt return comments, see, I also feel like, and this ain't got something to do with it. On our first possession, Ben Roethlisberger threw a bomb to Chase Claypool that should have been 7 points. And at bare minimum, should have been a pass interference where, we not being put off the field, having to punt. Yeah. I do think we don't know. It didn't happen, so we don't know. I do think if that call is made or he catches that ball because it was still a catchable ball in the midst of him being interfered, I do think that changes the complexion of the game. But obviously that didn't happen. And my 30,000 feet view of the game, winners win and losers lose. And there's really no other way to put it.
Yeah. And that's why I mentioned the block in the back, because that's a losing play. That's the kind of play that losing teams make. That's the kind of mistake that those kinds of teams make in those situations.
Even with even late in the game with the Randy Gregory thing, and yeah, I get it because I argued all Monday morning. It was incidental contact. Hey, guess what? You hit the quarterback in the face, you're getting flagged. It's happening. It's just happening.
Except they missed one on Gilbert late in that game.
Hey,
but
what?
But my response, you Garrett Gilbert, you ain't.
Yeah,
you ain't none guys. That was my response to it. So.
And hell, the big call that they missed in favor of Pittsburgh is Joe Hayden very clearly tried to tackle Amari Cooper in the end zone. When on the Fitzpatrick interception, he tackled him.
Yeah.
He damn near tackled him. It should have been called. It should have been a first down at the 2.5, whatever, half distance to the goal for Dallas. Instead, it was a turnover because Gilbert wanted to throw to Cooper and had to go somewhere else because he was getting wrapped. He was wrapped up.
Yep.
But then again, Jalen Smith. I mean, not Jalen Smith. Van Der Esch, tried to swing at Boogie McFarland. And yes, it was, Boogie McFarland should have gotten swinged on. But we all know in football, the retaliator gets caught, not the person who initiates the action. So it's like, look.
Another one of those dumb mistakes by losing teams.
Let's be clear. Dallas Cowboys are a winning team. If they were a winning team, they win this game.
Absolutely.
But for the fact that they're not, the Pittsburgh Steelers are undefeated.
I will say this to give my thoughts on it, put a bow onto the game. I felt it so surprising that you're Pittsburgh, you're up by 5, about 40 seconds left to go. This is about 4th and 1 from the Dallas, I want to say 20th, 25th. And instead of kicking a field goal, going up by 8 points, and, God forbid that Dallas scores a touchdown and gets a 2-point conversion, this game is tied. Instead, you try to go for it, and Gilbert almost, again, I'm not saying that he could have done it, but almost scored a touchdown, and that would have been the Steelers' first loss of the season.
Yeah, but see, I didn't have a problem when Coach tells me he didn't feel comfortable kicking the field goal because Tyrone Crawford was doing what he wanted to do on special teams all game. I'll buy that. My problem is that why would you give it to James Conner, who's been eliminated from the game at that point, and he's been stopped all game? I mean, we did not run the ball well at all, and the reason why we were even in this game again is because some turnovers, but Ben Roethlisberger going back to one personnel and just throwing the ball. Who gonna stop us? That's how we got back in the game. So even in that 4th and 1 situation, I'm thinking, spread them out, get it to the open man on us. Like we was doing what we wanted to do in the passing game in the second half. So I more questioned the call on 4th down than I did question him not kicking the field goal. Because the way I saw it is that we was about to put the dagger in the game on that drive, and they let him off the hook with that bad play call.
But would you have been okay if they kicked the 3 points anyway? You would have they did it, give him the ball back.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd have been okay with it. But like I said, I'm riding with my coach. I understood his logic. Tyrone Crawford was getting through every single time they kicked the extra point.
He blocked the extra point in that game, right?
Every single time they lined up except for the 59-yarder that Boswell made. Outside of that, every single time Tyrone Crawford specifically got through. So I don't want no blocked field goal, and then Dallas gets to pick it up and run for however long they get to run, and the momentum is there and all that. I felt Tomlin on that. I accept that excuse.
Yeah, that situation kind of reminded me of Seahawks and Vikings a few weeks ago, where the Vikings were in that situation, but except they were at the 2-yard line, and they decided to go for it instead of the 3 points to go up by 8 because, you're giving the ball back to Russell Wilson. The difference here is you giving the ball back to Garrett Gilbert. It's funny because me and my wife, we were watching this game, and I said to her, oh, man, they probably should have just kicked the 3 points. And she was like, it's the Cowboys. It's Dallas. And I said, yeah, it's Dallas, but there's time on this clock. And, I mean,
and they got another
given the way this game's been going, all you need is a couple chunk plays, and you get it pushing to, score a touchdown. And look what happened. They had a couple chunk plays, and they got it to, the 30 or 25? I don't remember. They got it there, and they had a chance. In the end, it's like, why to that when, you just kick the 3 and, force them to score. Worst case, they got to go for 2. And if they don't get the 2, then it's game over. But I wouldn't have had, either issue with either decision. It just reminded me of that Seahawk-Viking situation a few weeks ago. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was just dead for a minute there.
Now you breaking up a little bit on my side.
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay. Try
Must
to do
be
as
that.
much as I can.
Must be that fancy background.
I know, right? too much
try to do as much as I
RAM
can
on the computer.
And
But
y'all get my real life.
Yeah.
If y'all see somebody butt naked woman walking through here, just mind your business.
like you oh man. Yeah. So so you referenced the Ravens game. You said you was watching that game earlier. That game was a little frustrating for the first half. And then when we come out in the second half, we got that nice drive, that first drive in the third quarter. And I got to tell you, Gus Edwards almost never fumbles. Like, the whole time he's been with the team, I don't ever recall him fumbling in any situation. But that one, where he got, picked from behind at the goal line, that just made me pissed off. Like, yeah. I'm like, this dude almost never fumbles. So it's like, all right, we just, we blew that one. I mean, we didn't took about a good 5 minutes off the clock there. So
it's not.
Go ahead.
Assess Lamar Jackson's performance in your eyes for me Sunday.
I thought it was a tale of two halves, in my opinion. It wasn't a great performance. It was just enough to, get by in this game. And that's exactly what we did. We got by in this football game. Trying to continue, so the Colts call, and Marcus Peters gets the interception, which, didn't look like it was. But the rule, I guess, is he took 3 steps, and he fumbled after that, and then, the call got overturned, and we got the ball back at that point. And from that point on, we just kind of rolled.
Yeah. So y'all was cool with that call that he caught it and fumbled?
That the original call or what they overturned?
Well, they called it an incomplete. They ruled it an incomplete pass, right?
They ruled it incomplete, and then they changed it to an interception.
Yeah, I thought that was an incomplete pass. I don't think he had possession of that ball.
Yeah, that was an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I don't think he had possession of that
ball.
I
mean, I watched it 3 times, and I was like, he didn't have possession. He fell back. He didn't have possession even going down with it. But this whole thing about taking 3 steps, I didn't think that was applicable in that kind of situation.
Yeah, because you got to take 3 steps with the ball in your hand, not 3 steps with it.
Not 3 steps and you're bobbling it. Right. So, needless to say, we got away with one. Needless to say, I'll take it if it means my team gets a W. If it means that we,
especially when it came off of a turnover, right?
It came off of a turnover, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So we got our chance back. We scored right there. And from that point on, we just kind of coasted after that. The Colts couldn't do much of nothing after that point. But, yeah, the Colts are – yeah, I just don't think they're that good, man.
I said that.
But I've been saying from – But I said that in our preseason predictions that I didn't think the Colts were going to be like, I thought it was going to be a train wreck with them getting Phillip Rivers, not Jacoby Brissett. I said that in the preseason, and then they go 5-2, and it's like, okay, who'd they beat? They beat Cincinnati. They beat they lost to Jacksonville, but
they beat Washington.
Was it Washington?
Yeah, it was Washington.
It was? Okay. They beat some teams that really aren't that good. They don't have a quality win on the schedule right now. Like I don't buy the Colts. I don't think they're making the playoffs. To be honest with you,
I'm with you.
I mean, look at the Dolphins' resurgence right now, and I think Cleveland will be okay, but I don't know. I got Mirage.
I'm not buying the Browns either. They're just way too inconsistent with offense, in my opinion. I mean, Baker Mayfield can have a great game one day, and then he could. I mean, they're a little bit inconsistent for me to say that they should get into the playoffs. I will say for the Colts, yeah, they're kind of my inside out kind of team right now. They're on the bubble for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think they go. And I tell you what, I give Vegas a shot before I get this point. I give Vegas a shot before I give the Colts a shot to make the playoffs.
Well, I'll never say that as a Broncos fan. Absolutely not.
I know. I heard somebody the other day saying that Derek Carr is the best quarterback that nobody's paying attention to this year.
I'll give Derek Carr a fantastic season, especially before the season. He had said, and I quote, "No one is giving me respect in this league. I deserve it." So I will say this: the Raiders are 5-3. Been an impressive job by Carr in this offense so far, but we're gonna have a test this Sunday when they play against my Broncos. And I know I can't say much because we just lost to the Atlanta Falcons, but Denver's still in this thing too. I believe in this team. We're not going to go like I predicted, but we at least have an outside chance to get into the wild card too.
Jordan, I'm not buying that. Broncos are. I don't think the Broncos are in it at all, bro. I'm sorry to burst your bubble there, but I don't think they're.
It's a numbers thing. They're still in it. They're numerically. And what they say?
Mathematically,
mathematically,
they're still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like everybody in the NFC East is mathematically still. But it's funny you brought up Derek Carr because when me and Maestro did our top quarterbacks in the AFC up to this point, I think we said Mahomes, we said Lamar, we said Roethlisberger, and I think we said Tannehill. Like it's like the top four. Not in that order, but we.
I said because I don't even know if I got Ben Roethlisberger high right now.
I think number 5 is Derek Carr now. If you're talking about top 5.
I think Justin Herbert's stock raised too this season.
Justin Herbert though, yeah,
true.
And Joe Burrow.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I get it. Derek Carr is playing a very efficient season.
Yep.
I read somewhere that they're the most efficient offense, whatever that means. They're the most efficient.
I don't know what metric they're using.
I don't know what that means, but clearly they're doing something right. But I mean, if you're giving me if you're talking about the eye test right now, and even Tannehill, it's crazy from just last week. I'm ready to bring Tannehill on down, but it's crazy that Herbert is up there. Mm-hmm. Derek Carr. I mean, you might have to throw him in that top 5 in the AFC right now.
Yeah. Herbert's he's definitely getting it done.
And
just not winning the games, but.
Hell, we might be putting Tua in the top 5 in 3 weeks. So
yeah, maybe. Hey man, I just gotta brag.
Hold on. Before you brag, well, unless you're about to brag on the Ravens, if you could do that, that's fine. Do that first.
Oh, I'm a brag on the Ravens, no doubt.
All right, well, I'll let you do that before.
That's not who I was talking about.
Okay, I'm about to say because I want to stick the knife into the Broncos just a little bit more because I guess it's here.
All right.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, man. I called this one the Dolphins over the Cardinals.
Hell of a game.
Yes, I would have much rather have watched this game than watch the Dallas Steelers game.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that because the Dallas, even though we should have been Nathan, that was a entertaining.
It was still
entertaining.
Entertaining ass game.
It was entertaining. Yeah. I mean, I was talking more so, the lead up towards the game. I would have much rather watch.
Oh, yeah, if you tell me before the game started, who would I watch? Yeah, what would be more entertaining? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just that this game was just more of a shootout. That's what made it exciting, a great game.
Yeah, I love a good old fashioned shootout.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't expect
Tua balled in this game, man.
Yeah,
he balled out. The defense. I think they had an interception for a touchdown in this game, I think, or a fumble return. I don't know.
I think it was a fumble.
It was a fumble return. Okay.
I think.
Okay, but yeah, I mean the defense had to play too. I mean they still gave up 31 points to the Cardinals, but that one defensive play I thought made a difference in that game. And so now you got these Dolphins at 5-3. The Cardinals took a step back, and they had a chance to take a lead in the West. With Seattle losing, they definitely blew the opportunity to, take that lead, because I think in a couple they play the Seahawks in Seattle on a Thursday night. So, that's going to be pretty huge for them. And then you got the Dolphins at 5-3. And I still think this division, this AFC East, I think, looking at the
wide
schedule.
Open?
What's that?
Open?
You broke up there. What?
No, I said you think it's wide open?
I think it's still wide open, man. I was at the schedule earlier, and that Week 17 matchup is Bills Dolphins, so that could be for the AFC East in Week 17.
Both of these teams are going to the playoffs regardless. I mean, I really like Tua and what he's doing with Dolphins. And let's give some props to Brian Flores. I mean, you're talking about a team that was at one point last year, I want to say, had only like 1 or 2 wins and like 10, 11 losses. And to turn that around to where you are right now, 5-3, getting yourself ready or in prime position to get a wild card spot, beat a very good Arizona team. Give props to this my organization. The quarterback they want, and I think that coach they want.
You know what's funny? I heard this in sports talk world, that they were talking about that. Yeah, they had to put Tua in when they did, because they needed to know what they have to know if they were in line if they needed to draft a quarterback as soon as this next draft.
I heard that
too. That would be silly of the Dolphins to
that
process.
Like you drafted him. Like you drafted, I thought that was silly too.
Knowing that he has the shoulder injury, you still drafted him.
Right.
And for anyone that still had any questions, they were definitely had questions answered on Sunday.
I would like to think so.
Oh yeah,
I would like to think so.
Yeah, Tua was very accurate. I liked. Left hand thrower. He hits his guy. I don't know what else they need to determine if they need to, and I guess just to let people know why we're talking about this and why there's been so much talk about it is because the Dolphins have the Texans' first round pick for next year because of the Laramie Tunsil trade. So that's why that conversation was put to play, because look at the Texans right now; they look like they're going to be a 4-win, 5-win team, and obviously that's going to put them in the top 10 of the draft order for next year. So
they certainly won't get the first draft pick. I think you saw who that was going to be on Monday night.
That's a fact.
Yes, yeah, you definitely saw that. And just for the record, Maestro, last night's game was not one of my 5 games that I wanted to talk about.
I would like to hope so. But look, and let me say, and now it's kind of becoming a caution.
One of our 6 games.
Yeah, because I'm indifferent about this. I'm glad that Cam got a win, but they are celebrating this win way hard. They are celebrating this win way too hard, and it really speaks to how crazy the fall from grace has been for the New England Patriots, to the point where on a Tuesday morning they are damn near celebrating like they won the Super Bowl against a 0-8 team.
No, 0-9 team.
Yeah,
9.
And by the way, that game was entertaining because the Jets. I turned the game on because I was on the line with Mike. Probably while that was going on, and then I turned the game on. We're up 13-7, I believe, and was about to close the hair. And then they come out the second half, and they score. Actually, they scored right before the half came up. Actually,
that the Joe Flacco bomb.
Right, and I gotta say, he played about as well as the last time I've seen him play like that. Like, it's been a while since he's like that. Now,
don't you come on here caping for Joe Flacco. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen in that chat room.
Oh, I know.
Come on here caping for Joe Flacco.
Yeah, let's not talk about Joe Flacco.
It's such a odd. It's so funny. Like Jordan, I live in the Baltimore area, and every time this guy's name gets mentioned on sports talk radio, it it's like a lightning rod for fans to kind of have this back and forth about, you know, what he did in the past to what he is now, and, you know, and all this stuff. But
let's talk about the recent past. If Joe Flacco, if I ever see him in a Broncos uniform again, absolutely not.
I would tell you, wind up the biggest Hail Mary punch you got for him and throw it.
Yeah, right.
I'll get a leg of this guy. Speaking of the Raiders, there was this guy back in the day, Shane Leckler. Mm-hmm. I would tell Shane Leckler to punt Joe Flacco back to Baltimore if I ever see him in a Broncos uniform again.
Man, yeah, because I mean, the way he played last night, he ain't played like that for y'all last year.
No,
at all.
Even 5% of that we ever saw in Denver.
Mm-hmm. And I said it when it happened. I didn't get it. I didn't.
Oh, when the trade happened?
When the trade happened, me and you argued about it. I don't get why they paid him anything to come to Denver.
Well, it was a trade. It wasn't. He was
whatever.
On, yeah, it wasn't. You know, it wasn't like he was on the market.
He had no in a Denver uniform. Let me say that then.
Just like Case Keenum didn't have any business being in a Denver uniform.
Now, like he's a backup quarterback.
He was a backup then. He was a backup when he was traded to Denver.
So, yeah,
he was a backup for maybe his last 1 or 2 years in Baltimore.
Don't have to worry about seeing him anymore. But this.
So why we hold on, Trey? Why we twisting it? Unless you
Well, I was gonna make a point about the Jets defense. I think from the point, like from the point I turned that game on, it couldn't stop the Patriots, bruh. Like whether it was holding a field goal or having 12 field. At the quarter, they had 12 men on the field, and you're like, wait a minute, like they doing this on purpose. Like they trying to lose this game on purpose, yo.
We know
that's a surprise.
Yeah, I'm about to say that.
That's Jets.
Can I please let me twist?
So do you think the Jets are tanking? So do you think the Jets are tanking?
No, tanking. They're just bad. They're just bad. They're not tanking. They're bad.
They're stressful.
Yeah, they're not tanking. They're just bad.
That I gotta tell you. I mean, that was about as subtle of a 12-man on the field penalty as I've ever seen it. Like it wasn't guys were rushing to get off the field. This 12th man came on the field and went up.
Mm-hmm. I still think they're going to win a game.
Tonight?
I think they're going to win a game this year.
I don't see it. I think they're going to 6. And Joe Douglas, I understand this can't be your call. You have to wait for Johnson to come back from the UK. But why is MJ still coaching?
Because he can't make no decisions. Apparently fire the coach because he don't have the power to do so.
And that's why his ass going to get fired, right, coach?
Probably.
So, let me twist the knife while we still on Joe Flacco and Denver, as obviously he was in.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Tell me about Denver Broncos, man. Look, and I will say this, Jordan. I will say this. One, since Dan Quinn has been fired, Morris has got wise. It's not a bad team roster wise. So I will shoot you that bell. This is that team on roster. Them getting 45 back. I forget that linebacker's name. That 45 for Atlanta. Well, whatever his name is, they got some people back. They running a little bit better. It's on at least offensively. This is that team wise. I'll shoot you that bell, but your team is bad, man. Your team is bad.
I will admit I didn't like that loss against the Atlanta Falcons. I had them going to beat Atlanta in Atlanta because I was hoping, and you kind of saw it before. And I thought that last year I was like, oh my god, if we could recapture some Atlanta magic right here, that would be great. But that obviously didn't happen. We took the loss. But I will say this. We still have a lot of potential. I will remind people this was Drew Lock's 11th start. I will also remind people in terms of, he had a fantastic game. I wish he'd do that, in the first half instead of waiting, until the third or fourth quarter to turn on that magic. But I'll leave that comment alone. We also, in terms of, age of our skilled offensive players, we've got the youngest age of skilled offensive players. It was some particular graphic I saw when I was watching the game, and when you have like a really young, players, they probably don't have a lot of experience in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So you hope that they would at least get some practice either in the off season with training camp, OTAs, preseason. Obviously, that didn't happen because coronavirus pandemic and all that. I'm not making excuses. I don't like the fact we're 3-5. I will wear that on my belt right now that we're 3-5. But I am not writing off the Broncos just because we've had a first bad 8 games so far. This team is a lot better than how we're playing so far, and I'd like to hold all comments on the Denver Broncos from my side until I see at least the first half of the second half. These are games going forward.
Give me a projection, man.
I think
end of the year projections.
End of the year, we're going to go 9-7 at the end of the year.
Okay.
9-7.
Okay.
And we get like the 7th wild card spot.
Wow. I hear you, man. Hey, man. That's all you got. That's all you got, brother. Yeah, that's all you got as a shot, man. Shoot that up.
I will not come on the airwaves and abandon all hope right now just because we've had a bad first half of the season. Wouldn't be the Broncos fan in me to do that.
Respect.
Well, look, man, I think you have something in Jerry Jeudy right now. And I'm not saying that because he's on my fantasy team.
He's on my fantasy team too, so I get it.
Yeah, but I liked him coming out of college, and I thought he would be a good player. I think he got something.
Feel like, I'm sorry, Trey. Do you feel like he's rectified the dropsies that he's had in the first half of the season?
Of course. He's a rookie.
No, I mean, do you feel like he's corrected it?
I don't think so. Not yet. I think I need to see a larger sample size.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I will say this: he has the ability, and I guess I'll come back to the Jets here for just 1 second because I remember specifically one play that was that we made on that Thursday night game where Brett Ripien threw like this air ball, this jump ball out to the Jets player and Jerry Jeudy, and Jerry Jeudy essentially Randy Mossed this guy. So
I know what you're talking about.
That was all the proof I need to say. Wow, we got something special in this guy.
Yeah.
And he was a steal, a complete steal for us.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Going to be good. I just from what I've saw from him, particularly when y'all played us in week 3, I believe, he dropped a lot of balls.
I get that, but also Drew Lock couldn't finish that game because I hate mentioning this guy's name because he doesn't deserve to be mentioned. But Garrett Bowles can't do anything for this team right now. So I mean, if he actually made a block, then Drew Lock would have been able to finish that game, and he wouldn't have been out 2 games for the next couple.
Yeah.
Hey, how you feeling about your coach? Because I was a little critical of him late last year when he made a couple of mistakes in one of those games.
I'm not going to lie. The first game that we played against Tennessee, we had the ability to win it, but we decided not to call timeouts when we needed to call timeouts, and so that affected Drew Lock in terms of how much time he had to make a comeback drive. I will say besides that, I mean, he doesn't have that much to work with when we talk about the defense. I mean, Von Miller, Jarrell Casey, and Bryce Callahan hasn't played all this season, so our defense has certainly been impacted. I would like to see a little bit more in terms of defensive production. Giving up about, I want to say, what was it, like 31, 34 points to the Atlanta Falcons is definitely not good, especially if we're trying, to prove that we're a top 5 defense. But in terms of grade, I'm going to give Vic Fangio a barely above passing, a C+.
Okay.
And I will say this: my patience for John Elway, I still have it, but it's getting thin.
That I agree 100%. Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's predicated on if Drew Lock is going to become.
If Drew Lock turns out to be a bust, then that's the final straw for me.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be.
Neither do I.
I genuinely want to believe he's the guy because I don't want to go through the quarterback carousel again. And I will say this. In the next 2 to 3 years, this AFC West division is going to be one of the best divisions in football. You're talking about Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs. You're talking about Derek Carr for the Raiders that, I give a lot of credit for. Still is one of the top 7 quarterbacks in my opinion. You got Justin Herbert for the Chargers, and you got Drew Lock for the Broncos. Watch out. AFC West is coming for you in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, that man got to stay healthy, though. Drew Lock, that is.
I know.
Yeah.
His offensive line got to protect better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me say what up to the number 1 Chief Rocker Jersey, Vern.
What's happening
in the chat room?
What's happening, Chief?
He doesn't like your Broncos, man. He says, man, Denver sucks. This is who y'all talking about.
It's better than about the Giants right now. I'll tell you what. We want to talk about a 2-6 team.
Yeah, well. I don't want to talk about a 2-6 team, but
I
don't want to do that. Not when you playing the football team,
especially after the headache they gave. Especially after the headache I had.
Football team.
I say, especially after the headache I had from a 2-6 team.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're not talking about Giants right now. We could talk about the Titans bouncing back against the Chicago Bears. Man. The Bears' offense sucks, and we knew that.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't really have much on them teams because here's the thing about it, and we don't believe the Chicago Bears. And if I'm being honest, I ain't gonna say I gave up on the Titans because of the division they're in, but they I don't know what's happened in the past 2 weeks, but they're not. I don't know. I'm very indifferent about them right now.
They look a little funky.
Yeah.
If anything, it's the defense, and we kind of talked about it.
And we knew that, but we knew that.
Their third down efficiency is really
but we knew that. They've been that way all year. It's something different besides that. They've been bad defensively all year. They haven't been good all year.
Mm-hmm. You're saying from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah, they haven't been good all year from a defensive stand, and they were still looking like a great team earlier, maybe the first 4 games.
I'm going to say, because they started, 4-0, right? Or 5 or something like that?
3-0. I think it was 3-0.
They only surrendered 16 points to Josh Allen's Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. So, yes. But then they had that game, and then right after that, I don't know if it was right before or right after, lay a straight up egg against I want to say it was was it Jacksonville?
No, it was the Bengals. It was the Bengals.
The Bengals, right.
The Bengals.
Yeah, it was the week after they played John Maestro.
Yeah.
That was a bad loss.
Yeah, so it's like it puts me in this space like, man, I want to believe y'all I want to believe we had a quality win against y'all, the week before, but then you go with Cincinnati and look crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Titans, they started off 5-0.
5-0, okay.
Their wins was at Denver, home against Jacksonville, at Minnesota, home against Buffalo, home against Houston. Those were the 5 wins in that stretch. And then they lost to Pittsburgh, they lost to the Bengals, unexpectedly, and then they bounced back against this here. Which, I'm gonna just reiterate, the Bears' offense sucks. They're trending downward. We knew their offense sucked.
Right.
I've always given them the side eye, even after their hot start. I think they were 5-1 at one point, weren't they?
You don't get me the line. Don't get me the line.
Okay, but
they're 5-1
were
or
hot.
5-2.
5-2.
Yeah.
Okay, but since then they've been on a downslide, and I expect that to continue.
Yeah, it's like I said, I don't believe in Chicago. I just don't believe in Chicago. So for me, even in a win, I'm still looking at the Titans like,
Chief Rocker in the chat room says, is Denver over 500? I'll wait. Also says
nope.
Also says Tennessee beat the Ravens ass in the big game. Stop it. And then he says, and by the way, we are 2-7. Oh, way to go, Chief. Way to go to emphasize your points by saying we're 2-7.
Don't y'all got the Titans this week? The Ravens, I mean.
We got the Patriots on Sunday night.
When do y'all have the Titans? Then
that's when.
Okay.
We got the.
When do y'all have the Titans?
I think we got the Titans. I think it's the week after. I think it's the week after, but I'll double check that.
Hey, it's not that important. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know where I could mark y'all possibly getting a loss. I just need to mark that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's right after the Patriots game. So
Gotcha.
Right and before the rematch on Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, we'll talk because I might not even be around. Now I'm out there.
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, look, we got our game. We got our. I don't even know what I'm doing for Thanksgiving, but I know I'm not going out Glen Burnie. I know that.
Oh, for real? Okay.
I know that.
Okay.
I know I ain't doing that because I drink a lot of alcohol on Thanksgiving.
Hey, just Uber it, man.
Yeah, right.
Yes, it's Uber.
Yeah, right. Anywhere I go is going to be within 5 to 15 minutes of where I live. That's luckily all my family that outside of my mom, obviously.
You don't want to get in the Uber drunk
right around here.
You don't want to get in the Uber drunk and they drop you off someplace you don't need to be at.
No, every single food plate that I'm going to is pretty much within 5 to 15 minutes of where I live, so I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm. Chief Rocker says, "Who plays on Thanksgiving? I hope it's not the Cowgirls and the Lions." Chief Rocker, you know damn well that's their tradition.
It's the I thought it was the Cowboys and the football team.
No, I don't think he's saying that's the matchup. I think saying who's playing on Thanksgiving. But yeah, the Lions and the Cowboys are playing on Thanksgiving, and that's a tradition that I think needs to end.
Oh,
at least
there's going to be a big Thursday night game as Trey's Ravens and Maestro's Steelers are playing that nightcap.
Right
on Thanksgiving, yeah.
That's
the only game that day.
That's the only game worth watching.
Yeah, for certain.
Yeah,
for certain. So if you guys got no other games, man, I just wanted to go. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on this one story here, and LeBron James had tweeted this out a few days ago, and said that he's got a best friend back in Akron, Ohio, who lost a sister to cold blood murder in her own home. And so folks are trying to figure out, what happened, who's the culprit, did the person know Erica Weems?
Yeah, he tweeted trying to get somebody to give up information or something, put a social media post out there trying to get information or something like that.
Yep. And, before we logged on here, we put hashtags on our shows, Jordan, and I make sure the hashtag justice for Erica Weems. So,
yeah, Erica Weems.
Yep.
37 years old, found dead in her home Monday, which would probably have been. Okay, I can't tell you the exact date because this says November 5th. I'm not about to look up my calendar and figure out what Monday that was, but she was killed from an apparent gunshot wound. No suspects at the time. Obviously, they're telling you the whole we're investigating and all that, yada, yada. But LeBron puts out a post that says, Akron, Ohio, my brother's sister was murdered this past weekend in her home. My brother family need answers to why and by whom. My city, I need y'all to go to work and find out who did this awful, shameful, disgusting thing to such a caring, loving angel. Did Brandon Weems is the friend.
Yep.
Why does that sound like a familiar name?
I think you're talking about the former quarterback Brandon Weeden, maybe. Maybe you're confusing that. Or there used to be a wide receiver that played for the Falcons. Last name was Weems.
Sonny Weems. That's Sonny Weems, though.
I forget his first name.
I think it's Sonny Weems, I think.
Okay.
Brandon Weems.
Yeah, I'm Googling it, literally Googling it, trying to see why that name sounds familiar. But nonetheless, rest in peace to Erica Weems. Condolences to the family. And I hope you guys find the guy you're looking for, the person you're looking for. If anything, I tell you what, if he was probably the best bat signal is the biggest NBA player in the world.
Oh, I see. So apparently Brandon Weems originally joined the Cleveland Cavaliers organization as a scout back in 2015. So
Okay.
The name sounded familiar. Yeah, but the name sounded familiar. But nonetheless, condolences to him and the rest of the family. And I hope you guys find you looking for certain. LeBron James putting that kite out there is going to help you guys find who you're looking for.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that, Maestro. And if anybody that has a big platform that can get the message and get this story out on a more national level, it's LeBron James. But I got a big problem with national media not covering this story for, whatever reason. And it kind of goes back to what I've been saying weeks ago about when it comes to election years, when it comes to the media's trying to put a certain narrative out there. We talked about George Floyd, we talked about Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. We talked about those names all year long, and all of a sudden we get a situation with Erica Weems. I think this story needs to get more coverage, and just about enough coverage as George Floyd and the other names that I mentioned got early on in this year. So I got a big problem with the media right now, because this should have been something I should have been seeing on the 6 o'clock news a few days ago. Not me just looking on Twitter and then LeBron's tweeting about this. Like I shouldn't have to find out from LeBron James on Twitter about this particular situation, given that this falls under the category of what we've been protesting about all year long.
Does it?
I think it does, man. You know what he tweeted? She was found in her home dead. And I get it has nothing to do with police, if that's the angle you're going with.
Right.
Okay.
Because let's be clear. What if a black person? What if just a regular ass black? I hate to be insensitive, and I don't mean to sound this way. What if it just another black ass nigga just came in and shot her?
You're right. Then we'd be
right, because then they'd be responsible for reporting every time. Because then it becomes, and let me be clear. Let me say this again. Rest in peace to Erica Weems, and condolences to Brandon Weems and the family involved.
Yep.
That would kind of be socially irresponsible, because LeBron James is the biggest athlete in the world. We got to cover this murder because LeBron James is speaking about this murder of a personal friend. Mm-hmm. That'd be kind of irresponsible.
Yeah.
Because
I take back what I said about it falling under that category. So you're right. It doesn't involve police. So yeah.
Because I feel like this. If you're going to recover that because LeBron James posted it, then when I talk about somebody I know who was murdered, then you need to put that on the news too. And we know all of those stories don't make the news. So because LeBron James is LeBron James, he get that coverage and I don't.
Right. Yeah, not attached to it. No question.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, unfortunately, and again, forgive me for sounding insensitive. The media covers what they call sexy stories, and for whatever reason they deem necessary. Because I don't know what's sexy and what's not in terms of news coverage. Yep. This wasn't a sexy one, and that's a shame.
Yeah, and I'll reiterate.
You wish all stories were treated like George Floyd, like Breonna Taylor.
Right.
Like you wish people would care about that, but that's unfortunately what we have in our society today. So your point is totally valid. I definitely get where you're coming from, Maestro.
Yeah. And then how many people get murdered a day? Like we don't have enough out a day for that.
Yeah. No, your point. Yeah. You're right.
You're
right.
Yeah, Chicago, just in general. Yeah. It's tough.
Southeast DC, we can't keep up over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Baltimore City can't keep up. Yeah,
facts.
Can't
facts.
Keep up, man.
But I'll say this.
Go ahead.
I'll say this. Please stop senseless. I get murder and those things are going to happen in this world, but to those who are doing it and you got some common sense, please cut the nonsense out.
Yeah, just crap out.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah,
please cut it out.
Yeah, get it out of here. I mean, especially when you're talking about kids, you're talking about children. More times than that, and I don't want to stretch this podcast no longer, especially because we ain't talking about sports per se. More times than not, this shit can be solved with a real conversation.
or a fade. If it really comes down to it, a fade of just a good old fashioned fight. Like, but niggas act more like bitches these days. They say that's what Drake told me.
Man, that been going on for years, man.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to have you back on, Jordan. Good show. We appreciate it once again for
Thank you
hopping
for having
on
me.
with us, man.
Yes, sir.
For certain, your Broncos still stink, but it's all good.
But on the other end, man, the Nuggets was in the conference finals, man. So I mean,
hey, man,
yeah,
they got a bright future, man.
I think our Nuggets are going to get to the NBA Finals next year. And I don't say that because I'm a Nuggets fan, but I just look in terms of how Mike Malone has handled, year after year since he's took over the team. 2 years ago, we barely missed the playoffs because Minnesota decided to get in there when they had Jimmy Butler. Last year, we got into the second round, almost made the Western Conference Finals. This year, we make the Western Conference Finals. So trajectory and projection tells me that finals are not impossible for my Nuggets.
I tell you what, Jordan. That road to the finals is going to be a whole lot tougher next year because guess what?
That is a fact.
Them light-skinned boys up in Golden State, they're going to be back.
Yeah, we got Golden State. We still got we got the two Los Angeleses because I fully believe that Kawhi Leonard is coming back to the playoffs, and he's not going to miss a step. He wants to get back in there. So it is going to be definitely a tough road for the Denver Nuggets, but the way that Mike Malone has coached his team, I definitely believe we have a chance to make our name. Absolutely.
100%.
No doubt. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Chief Rocka, J. Ron, Kesey. I saw Deacon Dell in there earlier. Big Kev 303. We appreciate y'all in the chat room. Just a few things before we get up on out of here. You could listen to us on all of our podcast platforms. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. We also got the YouTube page, so if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You can check us out on social media on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, at Maestro Styles, and at Trey Frazier. Also, you can check us out on Facebook. We got the Facebook page, and then also you can check us out on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. And at Maestro Styles. And also, if you got any questions or comments about the show, you can email us at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. So, if nothing else, guys.
Hey, Jordan, plug your show real quick before we get off.
Well, I appreciate you. So, Keeping It 100 podcast, we are on Spotify, we are on iTunes, we are on iHeart. Basically, any streaming platform that's out there, Keeping It 100 podcast is there. You definitely need to check the episode out from Saturday when I had Maestro and Trey talking a little bit of NFL and talking about their show. And also, if you'd like to follow us on social media, we do have a Facebook page, the Keeping It 100 podcast page. You can just search Keeping It 100 podcast. It's there. You can also follow me personally, Jordan Rosario, on Instagram. Our handle for the show is Keeping It 100_podcast. My Instagram handle is Jordan Rosario 8097, and all the Twitter users out there, you could follow me at Jordan KI 100.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's what's up. All right, fam. Y'all have a good week. We'll be back next week to give you another hot show. This is Trey Frazier, Maestro Styles, and Jordan Rosario signing. Peace out.